crazy but not dangerous. I'm Shorty Vaughn. Today we're going to do something special. We're going to try a new idea, Shorty's Dash-Ups, making the ordinary extraordinary. So we're going to start off with this can of beef stew. Andrew buys these at the dollar store when we go. He likes to get one every time. We have quite the collection going. Unfortunately, he does not eat them. And so they get dusty and gross in my cabinet. And I want to move this on along. And I ask him, hey, what are you buying these for? You never eat them. Well, I intend to, but I forget about them. And there's always so many good things in the refrigerator and leftovers and blah, 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 blah. This is a lot. We have like 5 of these. So can I make this just absolutely delicious and make him want to eat them and ask for them and move them along before they expire? This was purchased in 2020. It expires in a couple of months, and I don't want to see this one around anymore. So can we make it better? Can we elevate this? Can we make this absolutely scrumptious? I also have this little bit of wine right here. It's a tawny port. I use it to make port wine pot roast. There's not really enough in here left for pot roast. And also, this bottle has gotten dusty. So I can either dust it or use it and then throw the bottle away or repurpose the bottle for something else. So I'm not going to dust the bottle. That's just weird. I did dust this so that nothing falls in when I open it up. I'm going to go ahead and get these things going. We're going to see what happens. See what we can do with beef stew. Now, this is perfectly edible. We look at the ingredients on the back. We've got water as the first ingredient, beef, potatoes, carrots, modified food starch, textured vegetable protein product, soy, flour, caramel powder, tomato paste, salt, dehydrated celery, dehydrated onion, sugar, caramel powder, paprika, black powder, and celery seed. All perfectly edible. I know that this has to be delicious and nourishes your body all on its own, because everywhere you go, there's the beef stew. If I go into my local convenience store, there's at least 1 can of beef stew on the aisle. If I go into a CVS or Walgreens, they've got at least 1 can of beef stew. Go into the grocery store, and they've got their own little segment in the canned meats aisle. So somebody's buying this. Somebody's eating it. Not at our house. It just sits there until, it expires and I throw it away, or, I make him eat it. I don't want to make anybody do anything. Let's go ahead and make this delicious. We can do it. I'm confident that we can do it. So we've got some wine. We're going to pull a couple of things from the pantry, pull a couple of herbs and spices, see what we can get going on. Let's do it. Stay tuned. Dash-Ups, the ordinary extraordinary. And I'm betting there's a lot of things in this cupboard that could use just a little jazzing up, a little dash-up. So I've got a fairly large pan out, and I like this one because it has a lot of surface area. The first thing that I want to do is go ahead and get this going. I'm going to turn it to about a 5. And to this, I'm going to go ahead and add 1 cup of the tawny port. Any red wine would work. White wine would work too. I'm not too picky. And this was not expensive. This wine was not expensive. It was a huge bottle of wine. I think that I may have paid $8 to $10 for it. And that's just fine with me. Because I usually add it to a roast and carrots, potatoes, celery, onion, all those kinds of things, and then make this port wine pot roast that Andrew adores. So that was kind of my inspiration for this beef stew makeover, because it pretty much has all of the elements of his favorite dish, the port wine pot roast. It's got the beef, carrots, celery, onion, potato. But I'm starting the wine off first because I want to reduce this. I also want to burn off some of the alcohol. Because this is a ready-to-eat product, everything is already cooked in here, and therefore it's probably already soft enough for consumption just out of the microwave. If I added this now, this would probably become mush before this cooked off the alcohol. And it wouldn't have the same effect. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reduce this by half. And you're thinking, oh, it's so, a reduction is so hard. Because my pan has plenty of surface area, this is going to reduce very rapidly. And I have my burner set on 5. That's medium. And it is just going to do what it's going to do. And I'm not going to worry about it too much. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to leave it here. And I'm going to come back in 5 minutes after I do some work. Got a few things to do. So we'll go ahead and let this do what it's going to do. And we're not going to worry about it too much. Babysit it like a 12-year-old. Okay, well, while that's reducing over there, let's go ahead and we're going to add some dried herbs to this concoction. This is my Italian blend, and I'm going to go ahead and add, a generous teaspoon. And then I think it's also going to need a generous teaspoon of our parsley. There we go. And I can tell that red wine, the tawny port, is really reducing because it hardly smells like alcohol in here anymore, so we're making good progress. And you can watch the little line on the outer edge of the wine. You can see a little line. So you can literally see it going down and reducing. If you reduce it too much, don't worry about it. You could just add a little water, providing that there's anything left to add water to. Because I have made that mistake. Got caught up in laundry or doing something with the pig dog. Anyhow, yeah. Any kind of wine, reduce it, take the alcohol edge off of it. I'm going to reduce it by half. We'll actually get the measuring cup back out to show how it has gone from a full cup down to a half cup. But here are my herbs that I'm going to add, just the parsley and the Italian seasoning. Now, if I was really fancy, maybe we would add like some herbe de Provence. But most people have Italian seasoning from the dollar store, or Walmart, Aldi, wherever you get yours. I'm going to go ahead and open my can of beef stew here. And like I said, this expires in a couple of months. So I am still expecting this to be at the peak of freshness. And we'll take a look and see what we've got. Okay, that's what it looks like. No, Piggy, this is not your dog food. This is Daddy's food today. It smells all right. It smells like beef stew. Let's go ahead and, you know what? We'll just go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and take a taste of it. And I know you're thinking, oh my goodness, cold and out of the can. Well, the first thing that I brought up, though, was something that looked like beef, so that's encouraging. That's an identifiable carrot right there. hot diggity. And it does smell tomatoey. And let's just take a taste of it and see what else it might need besides some wine and some herbs. It's not terrible. It's going to need some pepper. I know it said it had pepper. Personally, I don't think that it needs any salt. So we'll go ahead and omit that. Yeah, I think we're going to get by with the herbs, the pepper, and the wine. I think that's going to do it. Now, what would be nice is like a nice little baguette or a little, Texas toast, or even some white bread with some butter. All of these would be good. We might do something like that. But that's not bad. That's not bad, even cold and out of the can. So I'm a little bit more encouraged. I'm glad I took a taste. Yay, hooray! Okay, so it's been about 7 minutes, and I've just turned my burner off, and you can see by the line right there that it has reduced, actually by a little bit more than half, but I got carried away. I was talking. Anyhow, with the pan with the larger surface area, that didn't take any time at all to reduce. And, well, let's go ahead and we'll measure it. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a little bit of butter to it. We'll put it back on the heat, but I just want to check, just for giggles, to see how close we came to half a cup. Pretty darn close. I can live with that. Okay, I'm going to put it back in here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat back on at a 3. And let's go ahead and grab some butter. And I am going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter to this red wine. I'm going to mount the butter to the wine. And so we've got it on a 3. And all I'm going to do is pretty much take my butter here, and I am just going to go ahead and make sure that that is well incorporated to my red wine. And this is called mounting your butter. And this is now going to become a delicious French red wine sauce. And that was easy peasy, wasn't it? Much easier than you thought that making a red wine sauce would be. And we're just going to go ahead and just keep on stirring in here. I've got my heat on low, on a 3. And it's just going to take all of that rich butteriness and make this extra special. And that's pretty much all that we're going to need besides adding our herbs. And we're going to do that at the very end once all the butter is melted and incorporated into the red wine. And I'm really tempting fate because I am not wearing an apron today. I would recommend an apron. Red wine, it's a booger of a stain. But if you do get red wine on something, put a little white wine on it and then blot it very carefully. And the white wine should take out the stain of the red wine. True story. Then wash as usual. Little club soda action would work too. I never have it. There's always spray and wash. Spray and wash is good. Okay, so I'm going to just stir this and keep on stirring. And we're keeping this at a 3. And we are getting there. And this part is a little tedious, but it will be just fine. You could turn it up just a tad bit if you wanted to. Oh, you know what would be really good? What you could add to this that would really, we could add some dehydrated mushrooms to it. Let's do it. We have time. I've got some of these baby Bellas that we dehydrated a while back. I'll go ahead and throw in a handful of those. It doesn't need too many. Remember that we're only going to dash up a 15-ounce can of Southgate beef stew. So we're not going to go crazy adding things, but a little bit of mushrooms. Yeah, you don't like mushrooms, don't put them in. It'll be all right. It'll be all right without it. But there we go. Our sauce is really coming together well. And let's go ahead and let's give it a taste. Another spoon. Oh, that is rich. It is velvety from the butter. It has just an undertone of sweetness. And we have cooked out all of the alcohol, so there is none of that. There is none of the sharpness. But it is delicious. That is super good. That's a super good little sauce. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn this down to low. And I'm going to put a lid on it for a few minutes. And let those mushrooms rehydrate. Yay, great. Be delicious. Those mushrooms probably won't even take 5 minutes. They'll be fine. Okay, and then also besides the mushrooms, let's go ahead now and add our herbs. And so we've got our parsley and our Italian seasoning. And I just want to give these all a few moments to kind of incorporate in here for our mushrooms to plump up. All of these good things. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn the heat up on this and put in our beef stew to incorporate and heat through. And like I said, that's going to be our lunch today. Pretty excited about it. Pretty excited about beef stew. This sauce would also be excellent on top of a steak or a roast. And it's not as difficult as it seems to make a little red wine reduction. Boy, that's a tongue twister. Hello. A little red wine reduction. And super simple. It would take more time if you were using a smaller saucepan. That's why I like something with a lot of surface area. So, but we're going to wait till the very last minute to add our beef stew to heat through. That's all we want because that does come fully cooked. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave this on low and let the herbs and the mushrooms all marry together in this sauce. And we'll come back when it's all ready. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this back up to 4. And we're going to go ahead and add our beef stew to the delicious red wine sauce that we made. and it's kind of gelatinous. I'm not exactly sure what happens to it as it heats up. We'll find out together. I'm not going to add any more liquid, and so just trying to get as much as I can out of the can here. Waste not, want not, even if it was $1.25. I'm just going to stir this together, and we'll just see what happens. If it turns out that this melts and that there's too much liquid, I'm going to go ahead and add some of my prepared rice from the other day. But so far it looks like it's coming together well. So yay, hooray. But if you wanted to stretch this, by all means, if you wanted to stretch it, by all means, go ahead and add a little bit of rice, or maybe a little bit of pasta, or some egg noodles. That'd be good. That's another thing that you could do with this, is that if you did not want to use wine, that you didn't have it, that you don't enjoy wine, that you abstain from alcohol, what have you. Another thing that I thought about doing with this was adding 2 tablespoons of sour cream and some parsley and some dill, and making it like a Swedish stew kind of thing, reminiscent of like Swedish meatballs maybe. And I think that would be really tasty. We've got 4 more cans. We can try it next time. But this is coming together well. It looks really delicious of how this looks. So it looks thick, it looks rich, it looks delicious, and honestly, it smells spicy. It smells very beefy and very delicious, and I don't think it needs any more liquid, that's for sure. I don't really think it needs much of anything other than heating through. And so, yeah, there we go. Gonna put the lid back on it. Gonna keep it at about a 4, and I'm guessing that it's gonna heat through in about 5 minutes. So it took us about 7 minutes to make the reduction. It took about 3 more minutes for us to melt the butter, the herbs, the mushrooms. Everything's coming together. We've turned it up to 4. We've added the can of beef stew. So we're going to have lunch in less than 15 minutes. Cost efficient, delicious, good economy of time. Can't ask for more than that. Can't ask for more than that. Okay, this is coming up to a simmer. It's been a few minutes now, and let's go ahead and have a little taste of it. The smell is amazing. Oh my gosh, that is so good. It tastes like you cooked it all day. It is very reminiscent of a beef bourguignon, except it didn't take 1/10 of the time to make. I would totally serve that with egg noodles like you would a beef bourguignon. And Gordon Ramsay, come on down and I'll serve you $1.25 canned beef stew with red wine reduction sauce, and you will be absolutely pat on the back, Shorty Vaughn. That's delicious. You could serve this to anyone and they would think that this was delicious. This does not even taste close to what the can tastes like. But Andrew's going to be the real judge. I'm waiting for him to get to lunch so we can see. But this is good. Get yourself a $1.25 can of beef stew. Okay, Andrew, this is your ordinary $1.25, not even Dinty Moore beef stew, canned beef stew. Ordinary to extraordinary. You tell me.
All right, I'll give it a shot. Here we go. Oh, it looks great.
How does it smell?
Oh, it smells wonderful.
Yeah.
Serious, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of good chunks and everything.
Well, I'm not responsible for the chunks.
Boom. That's great. Really.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't lie.
No, I'm not lying at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
I wish I had better bread to offer you.
Well, you know, it is what it is.
What else did you get for lunch?
I got a, I don't know, cutie orange, something like that.
An ugly one.
An ugly one. Well,
Yeah.
you know, extraordinary.
Yeah, you like it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
All right.
Thank you.
Take your lunch and run.
All right.
Oh, Hades.
See you later.
I got you some milk. I'll come behind you with the milk.
All right.
Okay.
See you later, guys.
All right. Well, that was pretty successful. He's enjoying his lunch. I'm going to go enjoy my lunch. And yeah, we took a simple can of $1.25 Dollar Tree beef stew and made it absolutely irresistible. Delicious. So maybe this will make you think about some of the things that you have in your pantry that have kind of got pushed back to the back, how you can use those, elevate them with a few simple extra ingredients, make them absolutely delicious for your family. And hey, this is pretty cost effective. That can of beef stew only cost $1.25. I only added, you know, less than an extra $1.25 to it for an absolutely scrumptious lunch. So yay, hooray. Thanks for watching Crazy But Not Dangerous. I'm Shorty Vaughn, and I really appreciate you watching. Be good, be careful, look both ways, and I'll see you next time.